Alright, hello everybody. Today I'm going to do something crazy. I'm going to recreate this Apple homepage. I'm going to record the making of the Apple homepage on Thrive Architect. And I'm gonna try and do it in 30 minutes. That's my brain with poor estimation skills talking, but I think it's gonna take at least an hour. Even that might be an underestimate, but let's see how we're gonna do it. This is completely not rehearsed. Of course, the final video, I'm gonna make some edits, but it's not rehearsed. It's just the first time. It's a crazy thought. Let's start doing this. Let's see how it goes. And I'm sure you're gonna learn a lot out of this because I'm going to employ some really fine detailed stuff in this. So let's get started. So first step, let's look at this page. So this page looks normal, but there's a lot of details. You'll see that, especially this one. If you see this, there is a big iPad here. And now as I keep making it smaller, the iPad goes from landscape resolution to portrait resolution, right? That's just two different images. And it's one of those things that they've put a lot of attention into so that, you know, I'm sure they had fun making this as well. There's a subtle effect that keeps you animated. Every time something comes into your viewport, things just move. So we're going to replicate as many things as possible in this except for the footer. So first step is going to be taking all the assets out of this. And there's a trick. Right now, I can't right click this and say save images. And one thing you should notice is that this text on top, there's more in the making, is also an image. It's not a text. I cannot select this like I can select this. So that's how I know it's not text and image. Sometimes you can do tricks to prevent that, but right now I just know that this is not text, because also when I zoom, you can see that it's blurry, right? So that's an image even though it says it's a text. And that is it. It's a very simple page with a bunch of text and stuff. I'm also going to recreate the top header as close as possible, and we are going to see some tricks out of this. And I'm going to do all of this on my own website. So we're going to open that. So the first step, like I said, we are going to take out all the resources. So I'm on Chrome. So I just right click the page and I clicked inspect. And now if I go to network, I'll not see anything because I did not record anything. Now if I just press Command R on Mac or just hit the refresh button, if you go back to that window, you'll see a whole bunch of things in this window. So what is this? Everything on this page, whether it's a background resource like an image, like a JavaScript file, like a CSS file, for your website to come to life, there's a lot of files that's loading everything. It's like a cocktail, right? They bring in a bunch of things, mix it together and give it to you and create this beautiful website. And so one of them ingredients of this cocktail is these images. And I'm going to just see here, you see they have a bunch of images and it's super complicated, but there is something called type here. So if I click this, you see I'm going to click this twice just to see how it sorts. So there's some file called XHR. I don't even know what that is. That's just CSS, I guess. I'm going to keep scrolling down until I start seeing PNG and JPEG. So if you see here, this is where it starts. And if I click on it, if I click on this PNG file, you can see a preview of that PNG file. And if I keep going down, I can see all the images. You can see that there's iPhone, there's MacBook Air, there's iPad, and they've done some crazy things. I think there's some iPad without the image, and then there's an iPad with the image. That's pretty cool. I love how much details these designers put into these things just to give you that little Apple touch. And to be frank, it delights users like us, me, whatever. Now the problem is I am not going to be able to do the whole animated image thing because I thought it was a GIF, which is an animated format, but they're doing something else where they use a sprite sheet like this and they just render one square at a time. So this is something I'm not going to be able to do. I think I'm just going to use this image, right? Fair enough. Now we're going to collect all of these images. How are we going to do that? It's very simple. So you just right click this and you say open in a new tab, right? When I do that, I start getting all these images in a new tab like that. And I'm just going to go from the top here. So first it's the Apple image, and then I guess there's more in the making, so I'm going to have to look at that. Let's see where that is. That's the headline. There's more in the making. So I'm going to click that and say open in a new tab. So that's opened. Okay, so hopefully I'll be able to edit all of these parts out so that you don't have to see me saving each and every image. You're going to be hacking this tomorrow. So recreate Apple homepage. I'm going to drag and drop these images right now. Right now I can drag and drop because it's not protected by the web page or anything like that. So I can just drag, drop. You see that? It's saved. Close this tab. Drag, drop, saved. Close this page. And I can do the same thing for every single image here. Yay. Okay, so we have all the assets ready and it's already been 9 minutes. Holy shit, I cannot believe it. This is insane. Guys, when you don't notice the time, you don't realize how much time simple tasks can take. But this helps me be super mindful and charge my clients higher, because sometimes I just say, oh, this is not going to take any time, and then I end up wasting my time. I'm sure my clients are making a lot more money because of my poor estimation skills. Anyway, now that I have all the things, now let's start making the page. So I'm going to click add new page. Let's see, 20 minutes. Can I do this whole thing in 20 minutes? That's insane, right? Let's see. I'm going to do some parallel multitasking because I can already plan things. So let's think about the menu first. So on the menu, you have an Apple icon, Mac, iPad, iPhone, watch, TV, music, support, and these two icons, right? It's not going to be as dynamic as that, but I'm going to do something to make it kind of look good. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create that menu. I'm going to go to appearance. I'm not going to do it as a static thing because I think this is a technique that you all should learn. So I'm going to go to appearance, menus, and parallelly on the page I can see the page is opening. My internet is slow today, I don't know why, but here I'm going to say Apple homepage recreation. Right, okay. Computer is already slow. Maybe it's the screen recording software. It's great, by the way. It's called Camtasia. I've not seen anything better, but this seems to be kind of cool. All right, now I'm going to click publish first because I like to work with a live preview of the page all the time. I'm going to hit publish. I have hit publish, and in the menu, let's start creating a new menu. So I click create a new menu, and I'm going to call this menu, of course, Apple homepage. Right, and I'm going to click create menu. Now, another thing I'm going to do parallelly is open the media tab and upload all the images. I know I'm a super ninja because I can think of all these things and do these things in parallel. If only my computer was not as slow. I'm going to open the library on the side. So menus are still getting created. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add all these things, which is, let me memorize, Mac, iPad, iPhone, watch, TV, music, support. I'm a very mnemonic guy. Mnemonic or sound, audio, visual guy, whatever. Anyway, I'm a bit too excited. Custom links. So first one was Mac. All the URLs are going to just point to hash, which is the same page. So I'm going to say Mac. And on the media library, let's see if it's still all loaded. Yes, it's all loaded. I'm going to just drag and drop this entire PNG list. So let this keep loading on the side. Let's go back to this Mac, iPad. I think it's also on the size, I think. iPhone. And then it was watch, TV, music, I think. Anyway, watch, or maybe TV, watch, music. God knows, it's okay. Not a big deal. Is it uploaded? Yeah, it's getting uploaded there. Watch, TV. And then the last one is music. And there was support, right? Should I look? Yes. Okay, watch TV music. Yes. My memory is impeccable. All right. Support. Okay. So Mac, iPad, iPhone, watch TV, music, support, whatever. This is not going to take you to anywhere. But the reason I created this as a menu is because this is the best way to maintain something, right? When I create a menu on the page, I don't like it to be on the page only because I might recreate in multiple places. So sometimes I just like to do this, and it's easier to maintain. You can pull this from anywhere. You can embed it in multiple places on the same page, blah, blah, blah. So anyway. So now that that's done, I'm going to click launch with Thrive Architect. By the way, did you see that I have Elementor and Brizy all running on the same time? I don't have Divi, but I've been playing around. I'm going to be playing around and making a few lessons. So launch Thrive Architect. Let's see how much time has gone. 15 minutes, holy shit. 15 minutes for just preparing the whole stage. So this is insane, guys. I am going to just, I don't know, I'm just going to, see if I can do this in 15 minutes. That's insane. I'm sure I cannot, but what the hell? Let's see. At least without the minor details of mobile optimization and all of that, I think I'm going to end up spending 15 minutes just for the menu. Let's see. Right? It's like I'm split into two people and challenging each other. So the menu is done and it is saved. Apple homepage has been updated. Close the tab. Media library is all done. So I am going to. I'm not sure I'm going to save that and just keep it as such. So I'm going to just make this all into already uploaded. So I don't, if I have more images to upload, I'll put it outside and then drag it. Organization, guys. Right. Now coming back, I close this media library and I have this edit page thingy. I'm going to open this whole page on a different tab just to see how it goes. Right. So I have a different tab here. And now I have the Apple thing, Apple homepage recreation, and the whole thing is loading. All right, so this is how it looks right now because of course I've not started editing the whole page. Now I'm going to go back and first thing I'm going to do is load a new template. All right. See, I will hopefully edit all of these things out so that you don't have to listen to me blabbering, whatever. Okay, it's 15 minutes 44 seconds. My internet or the server is not doing me any favors. I think it's because I host this on SiteGround and my server is in Chicago. And I was in South America traveling and I was in the Caribbean, so it was fast. Now that I'm back in India, I think I have to move it back to Singapore so that it's fast for me. But I don't know how fast it's for the users because that's what counts. And most of you are from the US and the Europe. So maybe I can move it to Europe. Let's see. So the first thing I'm going to do is click page setup, choose landing page template. If you're using the new Thrive Architect, it's on the right side. There's a small cloud button. Click that. I'm not still updated because obviously I've written blog posts about why I'm paranoid about updating things. It's buggy. So I just wait it out for a while and then update. So right now I'm going to choose a new landing page. I'm going to start with blank page. And by the way, as a bonus, after I finish this whole template is going to be available to you for free. Only for the mailing list support people, of course. Maybe I'll put it for public. Anyway, I don't think it does any harm. But yes, so that's a new blank template recreated. So what does the new blank template recreate do is that it replaces your header from the template and the footer from the template and this stupid title, and then it just gives you a blank canvas, right? With which I can create my own header, my own footer, blah blah blah, a lot of things. So I'm going to take a small break because I'm afraid this whole thing is going to crash. My computer is slow. It's better to save whatever I have and then we'll have a part 2. Maybe I'll take a small pee break. Alright guys, I'm back. I just had a bit of water snack and I was a bit high on adrenaline. So I'm like, take a deep breath, and right now we're starting from the 17-minute mark. I don't want to waste any time, so there you go. So this is the new page, how it looks when you start. I'm going to take it off and fuck that. I'm going to delete that. So I have a blank canvas. I'm going to save this first. Hopefully that doesn't take way too much time. Okay, that's done. So And now if I refresh this page, you can see that it's blank and it's empty. So let's start creating the header first. So the way to create header is you click here, you go to settings. This is the same in the new page builder as well. I'm going to click add header. You can see that there is a new Thrive header. I'm going to click create header. I'm going to start with the basic dark because that's exactly what we need, or I can show you how to create a blank header for you. So choose header and say Apple header. I hope nobody in Apple sues me. If I get sued and if I end up in the prison, guys, I'm not built for prison, and you guys are going to be, you guys have to help me out, chip in some money together and help me out. I'm doing this anyway for myself. Anyway, so that color, that looks like some kind of a black shade, so I'm going to go to click. I selected the background section inside the Thrive header, and I'm going to click a color first, so something like that. That looks perfect. Okay, and then the next thing I'm going to do is add icon. I search for icon, I drag and drop inside the background section, and now in the icon I can just simply search for APPLE, and I think the Apple icon is going to come. Great, excellent for copywriting purposes, so that's icon. And then the icon color is not quite what we expected. There you go, Apple is ready. And then I'm gonna reduce it to probably 32 pixels. That looks about right. And next thing I'm gonna do is bring in the menu. So type menu, drag and drop a custom menu first below it, and in this I'm going to click menu source is going to be, of course, Apple homepage. Now you see why I said that, right? And these guys have a bunch of options already for me. I guess I should just simply choose basic dark, right? It's not exact, but I think it's okay. And I'm going to put it on the, oh, I cannot put it on the right side. I'm so sorry, guys. I am not going to be able to do that. Also, it's weird that I cannot drop it inside. So I'm going to choose it, drop it below. Thank you. Say below that little tiny image. Oh, doesn't fucking work. If it is like this for me, I can't believe how it would be for beginners. Anyway, there you go. Okay, so we are there, and I think I know how to make it look like that. So instead of saying block display, all I have to do is inline display. So what happens is it's treated as something that flows with the line. Block is something that takes up a complete new row all the time. So now I should be able to drop it on the right. There you go. And now I can also do that. Yes, I'm awesome. Thank you. And I'm going to change the background color style from 3C3, 3D40, whatever they do, to 3B, 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 which is what I noticed as the color of this background section. If you want, you can go back and verify. You just have to select the background section and verify it. All right, now I have this, and then I need two more icons, but you know what? We don't have time, so I'm just going to reduce the minimum height. Oh, okay, to 0. And then I'm going to reduce the height of this. Now, even though the minimum height is 0, I have only this. Why is it taking so much time? You see that there's a lot of padding here going on. So this column is taking a lot of size. So I have to go inside the columns on top and then probably reduce the first padding. 0, 0, first thing. And then I think this custom menu has huge margins on top and the bottom. So that can be removed. And then this columns, background section. Oh yeah, the background section has huge gaps on top and bottom. And even with all of this, it's not properly aligned. This guy is kind of on top and this is in the bottom. So I have to select the whole background section, click sections options, and say vertically position them in the center. And I thought it would make this come in the center, but apparently it doesn't. So I don't know actually. So let's see what else can be fixed in this. Oh yeah, okay. So inside these menu items, there's a small gap between each menu item on top and the bottom. So we reduce that as well. So we have it tiny right now. You can see the whole custom menu thing is tiny. And I'm going to choose columns instead of background section, because inside the columns, there's also another vertical position, right? So if you see, the columns are inside background section. Yes, the background section is put as center, but that only centers the whole columns control, which comprises of both these columns. Now I'm going to put them both in the center. Now there you go. Close enough, not exact, not close enough as well. It's pretty it's okay, I would say. You know, okay for us. We are not working in Apple and we don't want to get sued. So I think that's enough, I guess, right guys? All right, so I'm gonna click done, and there you go. There's your Apple header. I hope you already learned a lot from that. And of course, there's already 6 minutes gone, so that's 23 minutes. So let's at least try to create the top section. So go back to Apple and see that there's a small gap here, and then there's a Apple picture. So I'm just going to drag and drop another, or just click another background section, right? And in this background section, as I always tell you, right, all background sections should have a minimum of I think 15 on all sides. So I'm going to reduce that. So I'm going to make it 15, except for the top one. I think left and right 15 is okay. So top you can have 0, 0, and this one, I click done, and this background section should have 15 all round. The reason I do this is because otherwise it's going to look really bad on mobile. It's going to touch the edges and it looks broken sometimes. So that's something I do all the time when I create a new background section. And this saves a lot of time, and you don't have to go back and mobile optimize or whatever. All right, so now let's drop in the first image. This was the fallback image because we don't have the actual changing thingy. And now that it's here, I'm going to click on alignment center. So that's in the center now. And the next step is another image. And which one is it? You know, it's that. If you said headline, then you're right. Give yourself a high five. And there's it. And I'm going to make it in the center as well. Now the spacing is a bit weird because this guy is super close to this. So there's some, I'm definitely sure there's some negative margin here. So I'm going to select the Apple image and reduce something. And I always do this. It's fucking linked all the time. I hate that. I'm going to unlink it, and I'm going to make it 0 on top and 0 on the bottom. So link controls everything together, right? That's kind of annoying. But right now I think I also want the top to go a little more topper, if that's a word. And the bottom also, the margin can reduce so that the text can move closer. So you can see I moved it close. That looks okay. And I think that will look okay on mobile as well. So there's more in the making. Of course, we are not going to do the perfect mobile thing right now because it's a short thing. And now that's done. And then you have introducing the new iPad Pro, MacBook Air, and Mac Mini. Powerful tools to imagine, recreate amazing things. Watch the fucking keynote. Okay. So let's drag and drop the paragraph below this. And the paragraph is going to be centered. And you know, the text is small, and like I already told you, I don't like changing each and every text because it's not maintainable. If I create each and every text and go and change it here, when tomorrow you want to change the entire text again, it's going to be really bad. So go to page setup and go to settings or template setup and say landing page settings. You should be able to find the new alternative for this in the new thing. So edit page text, and here you go to paragraph, and for some stupid reason there are no designers in Thrive, I think. They set it to 15, which is super bad for readability. So I'm going to make it 18, and the font is not going to be Open Sans. I'm going to find something that's closer to the font San Francisco. I think a good rounded looking font is Roboto. So let's just go for Roboto. That looks much nicer, I would say. And this is the bold. I usually like 400 and 700 so that there's enough contrast. Contrast is one of the most important things for design. Otherwise your eye hurts, you're confused. Now there you go. And I'm going to now go to edit on top and click paste and match style. Or I'm going to click Command Shift V, right, on Mac. So that's for removing all the actual removing all the, you know, formatting. Sometimes they might have different font, different things. So I click Powerful Tools, and this has to come in next line. So here, don't press enter. Oh, you can press enter, sorry. So I have pressed enter, and it still looks, this looks pretty big, you know, it looks super readable, and I am not sure they have anything lesser than that size on this page. So I'm going to go back and increase that size inside template, landing page settings, landing page text settings. Again guys, this is the only way to do something that's maintainable, so that every text on the page has the same size and it looks uniform and nice, blah blah blah. Okay, so I'm going to make it 21. I hope that's, yeah, see, you can see it already. It looks much closer to the actual Apple site now. And then now you have watch the keynote, and there is a small icon. For the icon to come up, I'm going to employ a small trick. So I'm going to actually use a button there instead of text. Now you might think, but that doesn't look anything like what you see here, right? So I'm going to show you how I change it. So I'm going to say watch the keynote. I'm not sure the casing is the same. The casing is the same. And then in the button, I'm going to click button and say add icon. Right, and I say right side, and I'm going to change the icon to, first let me change the text button style to ghost. Right, that's number one. And then I'm going to change it to black or blue actually, because that's what these guys have inside their buttons. So I'm going to change it to blue. Of course, the opacity. Oh, look at that. I hate this about Thrive themes. I don't understand why they do this to me. I'm going to click default template again. Just change the icon first, I assume. So let's just click the icon and say look for play. Cool. So I think we'll just go for something that's close. Maybe that's exactly what they use. It's a bit bigger, I think. So yeah, 24 looks good. Now finally, I think I need to change the typography to blue colored, which is whatever they have. So I'm going to just choose something that I've already selected. I don't know where that comes from, but that's good. The icon also changed. Bravo, Thrive themes. At least you did that. I'm going to do the background style, and I'm going to make it white. And now you see we have something very similar, right? We have something exactly like watch the keynote, and I don't think we'll be able to do the hover effect. Let's try. Let's go to the hover, and you see that on the hover the color is still there, so I'm going to make it white. But the typography, maybe I'm going to add an underline. Voila, and we did it. I'm going to click save. Oh, Jesus Christ, I can't believe it. I'm sorry, I have this stupid plugin called WordPress and it's not saved, but I'm going to redo this again. I'm going to remake the video and stop it right here. I'm pissed, guys. I'm back. You will not believe what happened. WordFence, the stupid security plugin I had, completely fucked up my save. I had to redo all this actually, but I did it quite fast. I think I do it slower when I keep talking. Anyway, and it was like you're a boss of a big company, and then you instructed the security guy, don't let anybody inside an ID card. And then one day you forget your own ID card in your house, and then you're rushing to a board meeting, and then this guy just stops you while you're already late and says, no ID card, I'll not let you in. That's exactly how it felt. Anyway, I don't know why I made that story up. Alright, so now I have the layout settings. Everything is done. I saved it, and you can see how it looks here already. It looks great in my opinion. Okay, so let's move forward with another section. Now let's make the other section. So let's go down. We have iPad Pro, and this is a perfect area where I can say I'm going to create a new background section, or even easier, I'm just going to select this previous background section and simply click copy, and then you see there's a whole duplicated section. It's a really fast way to do things. So now I can go back to image options and just change the image to whatever that is, which is, what am I looking at? Oh god, It's the iPad Pro, so I guess that's the one. And here you go. You see the all new iPad Pro all loaded, and I'm going to adjust the margins that I set. The previous image was too big, so I kind of set some negative margins. I'm going to remove that. So all of that is done. And then on top, bottom, I have 15, and maybe there's a bit of space here. There's a good amount of space here. So I would say I'm going to increase the space on top first. So let's say I make it 35, and the bottom I'm going to make another 35 padding. It's not as much as required, so I'm going to increase it some more, 55, and in the bottom up I'm going to make another 55. Is that okay? It kind of seems like it. I'm going to have to increase it even more. So let's make it 75 and 75 on top. Right, okay, that's a good spacing, because otherwise it feels like this belongs to that unit. So we're gonna just do that. The spacing is done. Now you have iPad Pro, all new, all screen, all powerful, right? This looks like one header, and this is another heading. Let's see if they have repeated that. You can see that they've repeated the same thing here and here and here and here. So I am going to call these two the H2 and H1. Sorry, H2 and H3. Because this is actually the H1, I think I'm just going to use H2 for now. It doesn't matter, as long as you know that when something repeats, you don't have to individually tweak each and everything. So let's go down, and you can see that the first thing that starts up is iPad Pro. So let's drag and drop a header. So I'm going to search for header, and then, oh, no, heading, I guess. So I'm going to start for heading and drag and drop it just above this guy. Alright, so I'm going to say iPad Pro, all new, all screen, all powerful, right? And this, I think the font is still Open Sans, but let's just put it here. I'm going to put it H2, and then I'm going to recreate that and then say all new, all screen, all powerful. Wasn't the iPad already like that? Oh, they have removed the home button. I had no idea. Okay, that looks cool. That's why it looks super futuristic. You remove one and it becomes also futuristic. Okay, and that's done. We need to tweak the buttons and settings a bit more. I think I'm going to just recreate this button and drop it here in the bottom below heading, right? And we need two of them. So I'm going to create another button, and we are going to put them in columns just on the right side. Right, so now they look like that. So we're going to select the whole columns and say reduce the maximum width to a really tiny amount first, and then put them in the center, and then you say learn more and buy. So I'm going to click this and say learn more. Actually Apple doesn't use title case, so that's weird. And then say buy. Alright, okay. The next thing we need to do is this icon has to change. It cannot be the same icon. So I'm just going to click on that and say right. And then you see that there's already right icons. So cool. It looks super like the original, very close at least. You're not going to over tweak it, even though I'm already paying attention to a lot of things. There you go. That's not bad at all in my opinion. And I'm going to probably make it even smaller max width, and then now it has 50-50, and it should not be 50-50 because learn more is obviously bigger than the buy, so I should be doing the opposite side. So there you go. And now if I reduce the max width, it's going to be even better. And okay, I think that's okay. It's not exact. It's a bit weird, but we'll adjust the spacing. The spacing looks weird because they all have the same spacing and they're all tightly packed. Now let's adjust that, right? Let's see why these things look the way they do. So first, let's go to page settings again and tweak the headings, because I'm going to be using these headings again and again, and I like to do things the right way. Okay, so now first I'm going to scroll the screen down so that I can see it here while I edit it. I hope in the future Thrive Themes does something different than putting it right in the middle. It's kind of annoying as fuck. Okay, so I go to typography and I'm going to change it to Google Fonts again and say Roboto. I like Roboto. There you go. And when I click apply, nothing fucking happens. So I select again. There you go, that's why. Then maybe I can make 700 again. Okay. There you go, that's very close. Roboto is nice. And then you see there's a huge spacing. I think that's because of the line height. I'm going to make it one line height so everything goes closer. There's no letter spacing. Is there a layout positioning? There's nothing. So I am not completely sure why the line height looks so bad. And also I'm going to increase the font size to 44 for H2. And H3, I think I'm going to make it again the same thing. I wish there was an easier way to do this, but it's not. So Roboto again, 400, 700, and this time the heading size is going to be, of course, it's going to be smaller than 44, so maybe 34. Right now I choose this and I'm going to make this H3. So all screen, all powerful, and there's still a huge amount of gap here, which I don't understand. Of course, because the line height did not change when I changed it over there. This is a bug. And here as well. No, it did. Okay, it's not a bug. Sorry, Thrive Themes. Again, but I still don't know why there is a huge layout problem here. I'm going to try removing that. Oh yeah, so something is wrong with the one thing. So if you remove the one, everything becomes smaller and they all actually behave like they fucking should. So I'm going to make this go closer as well. I'm going to remove only the top paddings for all of these things. Maybe something inside the column. No, right? So buttons, of course, they have paddings here, and there's another top padding over there. There you go. That's not exact, because the iPad Pro and all new all screen all powerful is still bigger. I'm going to change that right now. Right, let's see. I know I'm tweaking too much. Probably you guys don't have to pay so much attention, but you know, I like to do things the way they are. So I'm going to increase the iPad Pro. Let's have a small comparison here. iPad Pro, it's pretty big for a heading. Okay, let's say maybe it's 60. Enough, right? Then that could be also big. Okay, 44, I guess. No, 42 for that is, I think, okay. 41, yeah, that looks good, I think. If you don't agree, you can go screw yourself. I'm kidding, of course not. Okay, so I think I like that. All new, all screen, all powerful. Maybe the bold is better, right? It's not quite the exact same bold, but let's not be anal here and move forward. So, and I'm going to remove this now, right? And then you have this little text, and it's so close to this stupid image. I guess I'm going to have to create some border, right? And now I'm going to copy paste this thing, and there's also a gap here and gap here. It looks fucking beautiful. I love this actually. I think the section width, I don't know why the image is not actually the actual size, because in Apple site it's much bigger and it fills my screen like this. Please fill me up. And then, I mean, the image, I didn't mean that. Technology, and let's press enter. Liquid Retina display, Face ID, and right. So you see guys, this is very important. Apple knows this. You need to keep the line width from left to right small so that it's easy to read. And I think I would trust these guys and go, these guys probably know best. And then say, and say Smart Keyboard Folio. Of course, I don't know how it looks on the mobile, so for now I did this. Other way to do this would be just to reduce the width. So another easy way to do this is just bring it back the way it was. And now what I do is I go back to layout and position, and in layout and position I have a maximum width. Make sure it's in pixel mode, and I have to reduce the width until it it becomes like this, and then say center line. This is much better because it will automatically align properly on mobile compared to my breaking thing. So I think let's just stick to this. Increase the spacing here and the spacing on top, probably 40 again. Right, okay. So iPad Pro, all new, all screen, all powerful. It's okay. I think maybe the space here is a bit too much, so I'm gonna bring it closer. And I think that's good. iPad Pro, all new, all screen, all powerful. And there you go. How much time has it been? It has been 40 minutes or something like that. 35. Let's see. Final edit. So now I need to do the same thing for MacBook Air. I'm going to fast forward whatever I'm doing here, and I'm going to also, if you notice, there was a small effect on this image, so let's do that. So click this, go to animation and action, and say click that. And then animation, it's going to be fade. I want this to fade in, right? And I think just to fade in, because slide top, or maybe from the bottom, I don't like how the animation is done. It's not as subtle as Apple, so I would just go and say fade in, right? It's much better to do that. So I think I'm just going to do that. And now I'm going to remove this bottom button. Now guys, to replicate the next section, what do? If one of you said let's just duplicate, you are a freaking genius, sir. Right, so before that, let's look at the spacing here. Spacing is so much, so I think we need to leave the same spacing on top of the iPad. 75, maybe that's a bit too much. Maybe I can just replicate. I don't have to have the spacing. So replicate it and go down. Is that spacing enough? Is that the same amount of spacing? I think it's not. So I think let's probably increase the bottom of this guy by maybe 35. I think that's okay. That looks kind of okay. This is something I've never learned. If there is a designer out there among you, I want to know how they manage the spacing, because I hate having to think of spacing each time. I wish there was like one formula or something like that. So MacBook Air, lightness strike again. I like how they come up with these stupid things. Learn more and buy again. That's good. Of course, I think the spacing here and the spacing here is not right. It feels too close. But let's not be anal, you know. It's already late, and I'm sure you guys have a lot of things to do for today than listening to me talk for so long. So I'm just going to make it 20. I like it a bit. I just can't live without the perfect design. Okay, so that's better. It feels a little more breatheful, and it's nice. Change the option and change the image. Change it to this thing, MacBook Air Large. Booyah, baby. Yes. And then you have this thing again. Let's just put it here and see how it appears. Again, Command-Shift-V, guys. Ooh, that's bigger. So that says something. Maybe my font sizing was not right, or the width was not right. Of course, look at that Retina display, the security. So the words the come on the side. So yeah, I'm gonna just fix that a bit. Yeah, and even then it doesn't fix itself. So that's 758. So I'm gonna go up and give the same width to the top section, because, you know guys, consistency is one of the most important things in any craft. So I would say treat your stuff with consistency, because that's what people expect in your business, for things to be consistent all the time. And your business, in your website and your design and your principles are a reflection of that. If you don't keep things consistent, if you just do it for because every design you do is not just about conversion, it's about how the user experiences it, and the experience has to be consistent, right? And it creates less anxiety in them, because they feel like, wow, these guys are taking a lot of effort to keep things consistent. I should repeat consistent once again. Consistent. So I've saved it now, and let's reload the entire page and see what happens. Booyah. Oh, it's not loading fast. Oh, there you go. and the MacBook Air. You can see the animation there, it looks beautiful. And we have only one section, two sections, Mac Mini. And so now that we have this section, we just replicate this whole thing again. This time it's going to be even faster, right? So look at the productivity going up, guys. This whole page, right? This is just insane. I know I'm awesome. I know. It's okay. You don't have to say that. I know you're saying that.
It's 11 hours.
Oh God, it's been 1 hour. Of course, I took a bit of break, so maybe I'm not as awesome as I think I am. The Mac Mini is a bit too big, so let's reduce the size. Cool. And then get the same thing here. And paste it Command-Shift-V again so that it doesn't paste the style. All right, we are almost done, guys. There's only one more section, and that's a bit gray. So what am I going to do right now is again replicate the whole section. So we have the final section here, and we say how much is the spacing? The spacing on top is huge here. So I think I'm just going to stick to the same spacing and see what happens. First, let's change the background style for this. My computer is super slow, so I think I'm going to take a break again, finish this recording, and oh, look at that. That's white. I never thought of that. Okay. Maybe that gray is pretty similar. No, the gray is super subtle. So there's barely a gray, so I'm going to put it at F5, F5. FF is the white color, by the way. And we need 3 columns, so I think I'm going to just replicate these things first. So I'm going to say, where is it? Drag? I can't drag. So for now, I'm going to save and take a break for now. All right, guys. Sorry, another short break later. Some water, an apple. Anyway, I mean an actual apple. That's kind of funny. All right, I'm here to make this final thing. So what I notice here is that these things are actually images, right? So I have them ready here. I did the same technique that we did in the beginning of these 3 logos. So I'm going to click open a new tab, open, and open. So I did the same thing that I did for these logos. And I think that's it. We don't need any more of these things. And I could just simply drag and drop it somewhere to store it fast. Okay, let me do that first. And where was it? Apple something? Oh, recreate Apple homepage. All right, so drag and drop. Okay, drag and drop. Okay, and then drag and drop. Okay, all that's done. Perfect. I go down in the bottom and I see that this is way too big. So I need just the icons, learn more by now, and these images in the bottom. That's all. Even Apple page is not perfect. I see a small gap in the bottom, so I'm going to keep the same liberty, or maybe I'll make it look perfect, even better than Apple. I swear in real life I'm not like this. I'm just super amped up right now. I'm sure a lot of you are telling me to shut up right now, but guess what? I'm not gonna. I'm in this asshole mode. Okay, I uploaded all those 3 logos, right? And I'm going to move those logos to the uploaded. So all the images are uploaded, everything is done. Yes, I've done 4 parts because I think my computer is slow. I'm on a MacBook Air 2014. If any of you want to gift me a MacBook Air or send me some donation for making this, welcome. Every bit of money is welcome. And let's start doing that. So let's see, iPhone XS first. So I'm gonna click that, crisp, big size. There you go, perfect. And then I'm gonna copy that and paste it on the right side of this. See how I slowly did that? All right, and this has to be again replicated, and on the other side of this I need the 3rd one. All right, now I'm going to have to center all of them, otherwise it'll look really bad in mobile. So I'm going to center the first one, second one, and the third one. All right, perfecto. And then we delete these big huge thingies and that big huge thingy as well. And then we probably have to replicate these things. So before I replicate, I think I'll have to try something, which is get rid of that background opacity. So there you go, that was not bad. So I just go back here and drag and drop this opacity thing. There you go. And now, oh, of course, the hover doesn't change. Yeah, great for usability, because maybe it's a valid concern. People might want to keep something different on hover. Maybe I'll also complain if the things automatically change on hover. I've got a habit of complaining about Thrive themes for everything wrong with my life. Some of it is actually their responsibility, but anyway. I'm all about taking responsibility for my life right now. If I'm pissed about these guys, I'll probably move to something else. There's Elementor and Brizzy, and all of them seem to be nice. But Shane and his team produces amazing content, you know, like it's almost like I stay with them just for the content, and I hate that. I want to stay with them because I like their product. Anyway, that's the power of content marketing and branding, guys. It's just one of those amazing things. All right, so I create that, and I'm gonna put this below. There you go. And I'm gonna click iPhone XS again, change image and change it to XR. Final touches, we are almost ready. And then finally there's the watch. The Watch Series 4. Okay, so we move it down. And we do XS. Where's the XS? I don't even know which is the XS, so I assume that's XR. Oh. So XS is not the ugliest one, the cheapest looking one. Sorry, not the ugliest. Nobody heard that. Oh yeah, it's super blurry. So I'm gonna have to see what's the actual width. It's 245 into 314. So I assume I'm gonna have to set that manually. 245. There you go, that's crisp as hell. And I'm gonna bring that below the columns and set it to iPhone XR. And let's see what's the width, 252. So this is pixel perfect designs. You don't have to do this unless, you know, sometimes it looks super blurry or something. I like to do this because, you know, it just looks crisp and sharp, and sometimes you don't want to go back and touch things. So the last one is the watch. The watch is 164 in width. So yeah, look at that, the watch is super blurry anyway. So 164. And there you go. And now for the final touch. You know, it doesn't look quite like that one, so I'm gonna reduce the entire width of the columns and put them in the center. You see, these buttons are really bad right now, so I think I'm just going to, I don't know how to handle with that right now. Either I have to convert that into text, which I probably should do. Maybe I'll do that. I'll just delete all of these things. Or maybe I'll not do that as part of this video. I think you're already gotten the gist of it, and you have been learning a lot. And it's weird that sometimes that color changes. I don't know why that happens. So let me go to columns, and delete it. Right, okay. So now I have to make sure these things touch the bottom of the screen, and I'm going to add a footer, of course. Right, so let's just add a footer. This is just a namesake footer. Like, I'm not going to really create an actual footer here. Like, let's just leave it there. All right, so there you go. There's the footer. It doesn't match the fonts at all, but I'm just going to leave it at that. And let's do one thing. Let's increase the width here a bit, so that there is a gap between the footer and that. I'm doing this deliberately so that I can show you how you can align all the images to the bottom. First, I select all the images and remove their bottom margins. right? And then next what I do is I select that columns and then again remove the bottom margin, and then finally I select the background section and remove the bottom margin. So you can see things are super well aligned except for the watch. I would say the watch is a bit maybe it should not be as in the bottom as it's shown here. Oh, that is not actually in the bottom. So maybe what we can do is, one, we can go back and say push it all to the bottom, but then what happens is the iPhone XR kind of comes down. So this is a caveat, like you have to really work closer to make sure this works fine. And I cannot believe that, oh, okay. Also, these images have some white area here, which probably you're not seeing, the Apple Watch does. So Apple is doing some magic internally to remove that. They're not using normal transparent PNGs, I think. So they must be using some kind of a formula or a function, JavaScript function to remove it. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to stick with this. And yeah, I think that's pretty much a good rendition of what the Apple homepage looks like. So I'm going to save this and let's take a look one last time. I'm not going to do the mobile optimization, it's already too late. I hope you enjoyed this. Leave your comments below, ask me questions in the email, reach out to me on my blog, wherever. So that's the final product. Oh, I love that. I'm going to do one small final touch to make things match, because I don't like that the header is super bold, and it shouldn't, honestly, it shouldn't take so much attention from you. So I'm going to remove the boldness from the header, right? So that's the only thing I'm going to do, and save it. So that, yeah, all changes saved. Let's see, there you go. Ah, that's beautiful. And as I come down, you can see there's that small animation and everything works. Of course, this thing doesn't work on mobile, so don't go about testing it. I can increase the space here. I'll leave that to you guys. This is a good exercise for you guys, so I suggest you try to recreate, and the more you recreate and more you do these things along with me, you'll get a good grasp of working with Thrive Architect, and otherwise you'll be punching your head through things. So what I'll do is I'll take all the images that I downloaded for this project and put it in a separate folder and leave it to you for download, so you can start building your own page like this, right? I would love to see your page. Even though it's going to be the same, maybe you can give it your own spin, instead of Apple put potatoes, or I don't know, whatever. Or your own books, change the colors. Layout can be the same. There's no copyright for layouts, guys. So you can just change the photos and colors here and there, and then you can use the same template for you. I hope you enjoyed this. If you like it, definitely let me know, so I know that I'm not doing something that nobody sees and it goes wasted. So that's it. See you again in another screencast soon.